me, lads. Here we go. Go the Cowboys. Woo!
Hey guys, Sean Media just want to do a big shout out to Rugby League Culture Lounge. All the best this year, 2020.
Alright, oh, yeah. Fuck.
Everyone, welcome back to the YouTube channel. My name is Nick from Australia, and welcome to the Australia versus New Zealand Pacific Championships Grand Final preview, whatever you want to call it. Some call it a final, some call it a grand final. Call it what you want, but Australia versus New Zealand on Saturday afternoon at 3 p.m. live from Hamilton at the FMG Stadium. It's going to be a big one. Australia versus New Zealand. The winner will take out the Pacific Championship. And then I think on Sunday we get Fiji, Papua New Guinea for third place, I think. So that should be interesting as well. But we'll get into Fiji, Papua New Guinea later in the week if I decide to even do it, because the game doesn't mean anything. But this game does. Australia versus New Zealand on Saturday afternoon. Hello to the live chat. Hope everyone is doing well. Hello to Jason Reader. Hello to SS Storm Fan. Hello to Josh Rabbitohs 2023. Hello to everyone that is tuning in. Hope everyone is doing well on this Wednesday night. It is November 1st. Finally, we're in November. November 1st, 2023. And it is currently 8:40 p.m. So a bit of a later stream tonight. I do apologize to those that are in a difficult time zone, like New Zealand, for example. It'd be like, 10:40 in New Zealand, I think, 11:40. So apologies about everyone in New Zealand. I know it's a bit late for you guys. Let me just double check, actually. I think it's 2 hours. I think they're 2 hours in front. Or is it 3? 2 hours so it's Auckland. 10:40 in Auckland. So apologies there. Hello to Viking Access. Well, oh my God, 30 plus for the Kangaroos, he reckons. Well, we'll see. We'll see. Last week's game isn't a true indication of what we're going to see this weekend, I don't think, anyway. Just quickly, I want to give another shout out to NRL Lids. If you guys want to get an NRL cap, they sell NRL caps, and they have all of your favorite NRL teams, whether it's the Roosters, the Rabbitohs, the Sharks, Dragons, Bulldogs, Broncos, Cowboys, Panthers, Eels, Dolphins, whoever it may be. You can get yourself an NRL cap on NRL Lids. All you have to do is just go onto our website. The link to their website is in my description box down below. And before you purchase it, make sure you put in the make sure you put in the code. You can get 10% off. You put in the discount code NFA. So you know, if you want to get yourself an NRL cap, just go on to NRL Lids, guys. Put in the 10% discount code NFA, and yeah, enjoy your cap. But without further ado, let's get into the game itself. Australia versus New Zealand. Viking Axe, tune into the podcast tomorrow night, and I'll give you my thoughts on that. Righto. Let's see if there's any. You know what? The teams came out yesterday. I don't even think I've even looked at them, to be honest. I think I might have had one little look at them, but haven't really gone into it too much because I wanted to save it for the video. All right, Australia's team. So captain and fullback is James Tedesco. They got Dylan Edwards on the wing with Valentine Holmes. Centers are the Hammer and Katoni Staggs, so it's the same backline as last week. Munster, Cherry Evans in the halves. Payne Haas and Tino are in the front row. Hunt at hooker. Murray and Liam Martin in the back row. Isaiah Yeo at lock forward. On the bench, Harry Grant, Lindsay Collins, Patrick Carrigan, and Ruben Cotter. And the reserves are Nico Hines, Thomas Flegler, Selwyn Cobbo, and Jake Trbojevic. Wow. How can you leave Jake Trbojevic out of the Australia side? I would have thought for sure that Jake Trbojevic would have been in the 17. But wow, they're not going to pick Jake. And All Out Champa with the donation. Holy fuck, All Out Champa with the $15 donation. This is unexpected. I'll tell you whose game this is with everybody saying All Out Champa. Yeah. Go Kiwis. All Out Champa. All Out LA Knight. Champa, thank you very much for the $15 super chat. I really appreciate it, my friend. And mate, all the best for the Kiwis. All the best. Thank you very much for the $15 donation. Jesus, I did not expect that. Well, thank you, All Out Champa. Wow. Love to see a donation. It's been a while since there's been donations. Thank you very much. All right, so that's the Australian team. Look, a couple of things I want to mention quickly. You can't be too critical of the Kangaroos side because it's obviously so dominant. They're so clinical. Couple of things I would have changed. Like I would have had Dylan Edwards out of the team. I don't think Dylan Edwards on the wing is the greatest thing for the Kangaroos. I would have had Selwyn Cobbo on that wing. Personally, I think it would have been a much better situation, but they went with Dylan Edwards. So we'll see how he goes. He played all right last week. He did have a few errors in him last week. And I guess the other one that I'm a little bit surprised about is that there's no Jake Trbojevic. I'm gobsmacked by that. I can't believe Jake's not in the fucking team. I mean, Payne and Tino picked themselves, obviously, but Isaiah Yeo, I don't know, man. Like, I'm just not sold on Isaiah Yeo anymore. I mean, I watched him at State of Origin this year. Thought he was terrible. I would have had Carrigan start at lock. I would have dropped Isaiah Yeo. I would have had Jake on the bench. Well, that's just me. But I don't know. I just don't know how you can leave Jake Trbojevic out of this Kangaroos team. I really don't get it. But anyway, let's get to the New Zealand team. They need to improve off last week. They were pretty poor last week, New Zealand, especially in that last 20 minutes where they just gave up. That was the concern for me. So New Zealand fullback is Charles Nickel-Klugstad once again. Ronaldo, Mulatalo, and Asako on the wings. Tomoko and Manu remain as the centers. Brandon Hughes at the halves once again. Fisher Harris and Leota in the front row. Foran at hooker. Papali'i and Nakora in the back row. Tarpany at lock forward. Barmunu Brown off the bench. He played well last week, so he deserves his spot. Nelson Asavo Solomona on the bench with Griffin Neame and Leo Thompson. And in the reserves, you've got Nathaniel White, who plays for the Roosters. Warumu Greg from the Eels, who comes off the bench of Parramatta most weeks. And Keon Kinney, that young fullback from the Gold Coast Titans. He gets a spot in the reserves as well. A couple of things for New Zealand that I think need to be done now. Again, All Out Champa, I spoke to him about this. He was saying to me that Joseph Manu should go back to fullback. And you know what? Maybe he should. Maybe they should make the late change. Manu to fullback, Nickel-Klugstad into the centres. I feel like with how disappointing New Zealand were last week, that they couldn't really get Manu in the game, maybe Manu should go to fullback and Chance go to the centres. Maybe that's something that Michael Maguire could think about. Maybe they could make a late change there. I was really disappointed with the New Zealand halves last week. Dylan Brown and Jerome Hughes didn't play well. Hughes did kick the ball out in the full once or twice, and then he kicked the ball dead. Dylan Brown, fairly quiet for his standards. The forward pack was good for a while. I mean, Fisher Harris ripped in. Leota ripped in. Tarpanay ripped in, but I don't know. They just ran out of gas, New Zealand. Now, if I'm New Zealand, I am taking a risk here, and I am finding a starting spot for Nelson this week. I feel like if you want to get Nelson Solomona in the game, I feel like you have to start him. And because it's a grand final, it's a final, I feel like Nelson starting the game would make a lot of impact. I would be pushing Moses Leota to the bench, bringing on Nelson to start the game and just letting him go nuts. Let him go loose. Let him run at Payne Haas and Tino. Let him go berserk at those two alongside Fisher Harris. Let them do their thing. And we'll be looking for a good contest. Now, Kieran Foran named at hooker again is very interesting for me. Foran's he's doing the job at hooker, but I just worry about, does he have the stamina to play big minutes of dummy half? I know Famuna Brown came on for him last week, and Brown brought some spark off the bench, scored a very nice try from dummy half. I just wonder, how long do you leave Foran out there before you bring on Famunu Brown? That's going to be an interesting question with New Zealand. But look, overall, I think this is going to be a very interesting game. If you have a look at the odds, Australia are obvious favourites at $1.25. New Zealand at $3.90. Again, pretty good value for New Zealand. The game is in New Zealand. It is going to be out at Hamilton. So it'll be very interesting. Now, if you're not sure what time the game kicks off, if you live in New South Wales, the game starts at 3 p.m. If you live in Queensland, the game's at 2 p.m. So 3 p.m. for us here in New South Wales. It'll be 5 o'clock in New Zealand, 2 o'clock in Queensland. It should be a very interesting game of footy. Australia versus New Zealand. Really intriguing to see how it does all go. But look, my prediction for the game, look, for me, I just feel like Australia will be a little bit too good. But I'll tell you this. If New Zealand start the game well, and I'm talking, if they can get out to a 6-8-0 start, the Kiwis start the game well with high intensity and they rip and tear and things go their way. A couple of, bounce the ball, a couple of 50-50 decisions go the way of New Zealand early on, but they can win. I mean, we have seen before that Australia, they have cracked under pressure. Doesn't happen all that often though. There was a competition a few years ago. It might have been like 4 or 5 years ago now. New Zealand beat Australia in New Zealand, and it was actually quite surprising. I mean, it was like 26-24. Can't remember what tournament it was, or it was just a competition, but New Zealand can win. They can win. I don't want to be hearing this thing all week about, Australia will win by fucking 40. They'll win easy. New Zealand got no chance. Trust me. I have seen New Zealand as the underdog plenty of times in my time. And it may look like Australia will win the game, but they can win. I'm telling you now, New Zealand can win. So don't get too confident if you're a betting man. You just never fucking know on these occasions. But my tip for the game, I think Australia win. I'm going to go Australia by 10 points. I think we're going to get a fairly close game here. I'm hoping that we get a close game anyway. I think with the game being in New Zealand, with the New Zealand crowd on their side, the atmosphere is going to be outstanding. It's looking like a good atmosphere. I think New Zealand are a chance, but I'll go Australia by 10. My prediction for the game, I'll go a scoreline of Australia 24, New Zealand 14. First try scorer for the game, I'll go Cameron Munster as the first try scorer on Saturday afternoon. Anytime try scorer. I think Cam Murray will score once again. And if I had to pick a player of the match, I'll go Daly Cherry Evans to be the player of the game. Australia to win by 10 points. But anyway, guys, that will conclude my preview for the Australia versus New Zealand Pacific Championship Grand Final. I hope you guys enjoyed the preview. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday night for your, November 1st. Anyway, guys, I will see you tomorrow for the Premier League preview, along with the Corner Post Podcast episode 8, which is tomorrow night as well. Anyway, adios, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your night, and I'll see you tomorrow.